This is Abe Friedtanzer from Awards Buzz, and I'm very excited to be speaking with Charlie Plummer and Eve Lindley about National Anthem. How are you both doing today?
Really
Doing
good,
well,
thank
eh?
you.
How about you?
Awesome. Can you tell me what you connected with about your characters?
Oh man, I mean so much. It's hard to say one thing. I mean, I've been fantasizing about getting to be a cowboy for all of my life and have been stuck in New York. So there was that. But I think Luke and I very early on hopped on the phone and just kind of shared our hearts to one another for a few hours, and that really became the bedrock of my understanding of Dylan. And then after that point, it was just this constant moving, this growing kind of process of Luke and I just really shooting music and ideas and films and photos and just anything you could think of back and forth, trying to kind of assemble who internally this person was. And then yeah, that's more or less it.
Yeah. I mean, my character felt so different from who I am and other characters I've played, and she. Uh, I think a lot of the characters I've played are kind of stuck in their head, and I tend to be a little stuck in my head sometimes, and so to like play somebody who was just so fully in their body and like was not sort of trapped by any anxieties was so exciting. And then we see that literally in like the way that she rides horses and the way that she like shows her love. And I just, it was a really great pair of shoes, pair of boots to step into.
I don't think she's just such a big part of the imagery of this film, the poster, and just so much of, what Dylan is seeing and just drawing him to this world the entire time. What is it like to just see yourself in that way and just be sort of visually carrying a film like this?
I I mean I don't know that I feel that
No
I'm
pressure.
carrying it, but it's cool. It's really cool. It feels really daring that, they allowed like a trans woman to be the poster of any film, and especially to use like the iconography of the American flag and the Wild West, and like it just feels sort of like um it feels daring to me, and I feel really privileged to get to be the one to do it.
Did you both know about the queer rodeo, and what did you discover along the way in the process of making this film?
I
I
certainly didn't.
Yeah, I don't think either one of us. I think most of the people that worked on the film didn't know much about it, and maybe even thought it wasn't an entirely real thing. And then Luke was very quick to remind that, this is a community that's been alive and well for decades. And, we also had this really crazy opportunity of coming into that community right after COVID. And so much of the in-person contact that these folks were able to have with one another was taken away. And so we were coming in right at the moment where they were getting that back, which I thought for me especially was just really, really cool and gave so much fuel and life to what this experience felt like for Dylan, of course. But yeah, I mean, it's just like this unbelievable community that, puts on these rodeos. I think it's 6 times a year, 6 or 8 times a year, and we got to go to a couple and got to shoot while they were happening. So it was really, really, really special. But I'll let you speak to it too.
Yeah, I mean, I only went to one in the one in Palm Springs, and it was just it was like felt like a kid at the carnival. It was so exciting. And I mean, dressing the goats and like the, watching everyone like with their barrel racing. It was so new, and it was really fun.
What is it like working with a director like Luke, who's his first time directing and also has such a strong background in photography?
I think that like, this was his first feature, but he had directed at least one short and like, maybe more, and many music videos. And he just has such a clear voice to me, and he has a really high taste level. And uh, you know it felt really felt like stepping into someone else's world for me. And because Sky was so different than who I am, he really he really understood her, and he really helped me find her. And like you know, I was able to kind of, it was a little scary. I don't necessarily trust everyone immediately. So, but it was, you know, ultimately, I think being able to be guided by him for me was everything.
Yeah, and I mean, just to add to that, you know, I think I was just kind of blown away at Luke's confidence, kind of what Eve was saying, as far as being a first-time filmmaker, and his confidence to allow others to really take the lead when it came to, you know, us actually making the thing, and not only the actors, but the crew, you know, Kate Arizmendi, who shot the film, you know, really everyone. I think he trusted so much, and that wasn't a verbal trust, that was very much in his actions and how he led. So to me, that was like, you know, everything. And I genuinely have never had a director trust me that much, especially going into the film. I mean, I was just kind of floored at how much he was willing to constantly change things and move things, and just was excited by that. You know, it was never like, oh my God, these actors have a new idea. Like, geez, let me like, you know, it was always really excited and wanting to embrace everything. And yeah, that's just pretty rare, especially for a first time filmmaker.
I'm glad to hear it was such a positive experience. Thank you both so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.